So Brian, why don't you fly over to the sea? Because the sea actually is another nice application of what Cell can do. You've seen lots of water shaders probably before in other games. One of the things which LAIR has is a full fluid dynamic simulation. And that makes it possible that it's not the old stuff we all know, which is basically a trick which is going on the top of the water, but we're actually simulating the movement of the waves and the reaction of the physical bodies on it. So what you can see here is the boats actually bobbing on the waves correctly, and once Brian starts using the firepower of the dragon there and blows up those boats, they're loaded with explosives. You can actually see that the explosions trigger waves within the sea. There's a later level in the game, one which you won't see today, which actually uses a lot of this fluid dynamic simulation for very cool stuff happening in real time during gameplay. And again, this is something which runs on the SPUs. All of our physics code, all of our volumetrics code, all of that runs completely on the SPUs, which only Cell can offer. As everybody has said, it's not easy to program, but it's also not hard to program. It's considerably easier to get into than the PS2 was, just for comparison's sake. And once you do start getting into it, the things you can do with it are almost limitless. So let's talk a little bit about the gameplay here. In the first level, we stick to basically flight, and we want to teach you the flight. The flight is all about the 6-axis. You've heard a lot about the motion control and the 6-axis here, and of course we take full advantage of it. Not only what you would expect, which is basically controlling the dragon in air, and really the glide makes a range of motion possible. You can try it in a couple of minutes over there yourself, which wouldn't be possible otherwise. But what we're also doing, if you watch Brian there, is simplifying buttons, for example. For 180, which is important in a game like this, you don't need to do combinations of buttons. What you can do is you simply whip up with a gesture the controller. We have other gestures where basically when the dragons start to get physical, which Brian will do in a second here, he could in this early fight, because it's all very weak dragons, he could just take them out with fire. But that's lame. Let's do something a little bit cooler, and let's use the physical attack systems, because that's really what LAIR's all about. Crash into him and boom. So one of the things which you actually get with that is over there, that number, that's tons of carnage, which you cause, and we'll talk about that in a second in a different level, a little bit more, the depth of the gameplay systems here. But what's really nice about the 6-axis is that not only does it give you the flight feeling in a way never possible before, but it also at the same time with the gestures gives you a physical impact on with other dragons in here. That was the pursuit mode, as we call it, where you actually slam the 6-axis towards the other dragon and bump into him to kill him. And we've really picked out all of these physical interactions between the dragons wherever possible to be done with the motion control, because that's what motion control is all about.